Ready to dive into the world of Gen AI and its impact on marketing.
Absolutely.
We're talking about more than just the buzzwords. We're going deep with this research paper, Generative AI in Innovation and Marketing Processes, straight from the Journal of the Academy of Marketing Science.
Really gets into the practicalities, which I appreciate.
Right, everyone's throwing around AI this and AI that these days, but this paper actually offers a roadmap, you know?
It does, and it's grounded in real-world examples, which is so important.
It really highlights how GenAI is already shaping marketing, whether we realize it or not. And for anyone listening, that means understanding how it could impact your job.
Exactly. It's not some far-off concept anymore.
Yeah.
One thing this research does well is show how this tech is being used right now
Hmm.
by real companies.
And it's not just about, like, analyzing data, which is what people usually think of with AI. GenAI is about creating.
Yeah.
We're talking marketing copy, product ideas, the works. Imagine brainstorming sessions where AI tools are actually generating those initial sparks.
Like having a team of creative experts constantly feeding you ideas. And the way it works is fascinating. It's been trained on these massive data sets, right? Text, code, images.
Okay.
And from that, it learns to mimic human creativity.
So it's not just copying what it's seen before, it can actually come up with new ideas.
That's the key. It's called probabilistic because there's an element of randomness. Give a Gen AI the same prompt a few times, you'll get different results each time.
Wow, so that's where the real innovation comes in, not just rearranging what already exists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Augmenting human creativity, not replacing it, which is a really important takeaway from the paper. This technology is a tool, and it's up to us to use it effectively.
So how's this actually playing out in the real world? Let's break down where GenAI fits into the stages of a marketing campaign.
Okay, so this paper breaks it down into 4 key stages: developing new stuff, testing it, communicating it, and then engaging with your customers. And what's really interesting is that Gen AI has the potential to shake up each and every one.
All right, let's get into those stages. First up, developing, as in new products, new services. Where does GenAI fit in?
This is where things get really interesting. So the paper talks about algorithmic fidelity, basically, how Gen AI can analyze mountains of data, consumer trends, you name it, and spit out product ideas tailored for specific groups of people.
So instead of those brainstorming sessions where we're limited by our own experiences, you're saying we can tap into what people actually want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like say you're trying to create a new energy drink, right? And you want it to really resonate with Gen Z gamers. Gen AI can dig through data on everything, what games they're playing, what they're watching online, even down to the slang they use, and use that to shape those product ideas.
That's wild, but wouldn't that lead to everyone just chasing the same AI-generated trends? Like, where does real creativity fit in if everyone's drawing from the same well?
Yeah, and the paper addresses that tension. On the one hand, Gen AI can help companies break out of their usual thought patterns, come up with truly innovative stuff. But on the other hand, if everyone's using the same tools, the same data, it could lead to everything looking the same, you know?
It's like that saying, too many cooks in the kitchen, or in this case, too many AI chefs all using the same ingredients.
Right. So it really highlights how important human judgment still is. Gen AI can generate the ideas, but we still need people to sift through them, refine them, and decide what's actually worth pursuing.
It's a partnership, not a replacement. Okay, so let's move on to testing. This is where we figure out if those AI-generated ideas actually hold up.
Right. And this is where Gen AI could totally disrupt market research as we know it.
Yeah.
Think about all those times you've been asked to fill out a survey.
Don't get me started. I once spent like an hour on a survey about, I think it was about mayonnaise. Like, who knew I had so many opinions about mayonnaise?
Exactly. And a lot of that data collection can be automated, maybe even improved with Gen AI. There are studies where Gen AI predicted what consumers would want, and it was scary accurate, sometimes even better than human experts.
Really? You're saying AI could know what we want before we even do? That's kind of freaky, but also really cool.
It's both. And the paper gets into that. It raises all these questions about data privacy, you know. But from a purely practical standpoint, Gen AI could make market research way faster, more efficient, could even lead to better products in the long run.
So less time filling out surveys, more time making products people actually want. I'm on board with that. But how do we get those products in front of those people? What about the communicating stage?
That's where Gen AI's ability to generate text, visuals, all that good stuff comes in. Social media posts, website copy, video scripts. Gen AI can be trained to create it all.
So you're saying instead of hiring a whole team of writers, designers, videographers, you could just feed some prompts to an AI.
Well, it's not quite that simple. You still need humans to oversee it, provide direction. But It could definitely make things more efficient, more cost-effective. There's actually a study mentioned in the paper where an AI-created email campaign got way better results than one made by humans.
Wow. But what about that human touch? Like, isn't there something to be said for a message that really connects with you on an emotional level? Can AI really replicate that?
That's the million-dollar question. Can AI truly understand nuance, empathy, all those things that make human communication what it is? And even if it can, will people care? Will they be able to tell the difference?
It's like that classic debate, can technology ever truly replicate the human experience? I guess we're finding out.
We are. And the answer is probably not a simple yes or no. It depends how the technology develops, how comfortable people become with it, all that.
It's a brave new world out there. Okay, last stage, engaging with customers. It's not enough to just grab someone's attention, right?
Yeah.
You got to keep them coming back for more.
Exactly. And that's where personalized experiences are huge, and that's another area where Gen AI could be huge. Imagine getting an email that's been tailored just for you, based on your interests, what you've bought before, even where you are at that moment.
Like having a personal assistant for every brand you interact with, that's kind of amazing, but also a little big brother-ish. No. Like, how much information are we willing to give up in exchange for that level of personalization?
That's the key question, and the paper doesn't shy away from that. It's a balancing act, providing value while also respecting privacy.
Transparency is key, right? People need to know how their data is being used, and they need to be able to opt out if they're not cool with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as Gen AI becomes more common in marketing,
Yeah.
companies need to be upfront about that. No more hiding behind vague terms and conditions.
So we've got Gen AI that can come up with ideas, test them out, create marketing campaigns, and even personalize experiences on a massive scale. That's a lot.
It is. And remember, this tech is still evolving. We're just starting to see what it can do.
So we've covered a ton of ground here, from brainstorming with AI to hyper-personalized marketing campaigns. But this paper doesn't just focus on the shiny new toys, does it?
You got it.
Yeah.
It also raises some really important questions about what this all means for the future of marketing itself and for everyone working in the field.
Yeah, this feels bigger than just learning some new software, you know?
It is bigger. The paper talks about how Gen AI could actually change the skills you need to be successful as a marketer, like certain tasks, things that used to be essential, writing ad copy, analyzing data, that might all be automated soon.
Okay, now that's a little scary. Does that mean marketers are going to be out of a job?
Not necessarily, but it does mean we need to adapt. The paper argues that the marketers who thrive in this new landscape are the ones who embrace Gen AI as a tool, a way to boost their own creativity and strategic thinking.
So not replaced by AI, but using AI to be even better at what we do.
Exactly. Focusing on the things AI can't do, at least not yet. Things like emotional intelligence, thinking strategically, really connecting with your audience on a human level.
Understanding the why behind the what.
Exactly. And the paper makes a really interesting point. The companies who win with Gen AI won't just be the ones using it to, check things off a to-do list. It'll be the ones who use it strategically to achieve their big picture goals.
So it always comes back to strategy, knowing where you want to go, and then figuring out how Gen AI fits into that journey.
Right. And that means understanding both the strengths and limitations of this technology, using it in a way that aligns with your values, with your overall vision.
So for anyone listening, it's not enough to just know that Gen AI is changing things. You have to figure out how those changes apply to you, to your role, your industry, even your career path. And then it's about taking action, getting the skills and knowledge you need to thrive.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Stay curious, experiment, never stop learning. This is the future of marketing, and it's full of potential for those willing to embrace it.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought from the research. In the age of AI, it's not about fearing the unknown, it's about being the one who shapes it.